Okay, speaker number 3 is Tara Wagner-Gambo of Moru and University of Oxford, Bangkok, Thailand.
Controlling infectious diseases is like fighting an invisible enemy, always in your blind spot. You don't know where they are until people start falling sick around you. Imagine a child wakes up with a fever. At first, it seems like nothing, but within days, the infection spreads to their family, neighbors, and school. And by the time anybody realizes what it is, half the village is sick. That's how infectious diseases spread, quietly and quickly. So knowing where these infected people are is really important. It helps us treat them quickly and stops the disease from spreading further. But knowing where they are is really hard if you don't have the resources, like money, equipment, and trained staff to test everyone. So instead, what if we looked at patterns? Perhaps a disease only infects children who live in villages near primary schools, or doesn't infect people who live near water, or doesn't infect people living in the mountains. Those are pretty interesting patterns, right? Well, what if we reverse engineered the picture, swap the where and the pattern, use the pattern to tell us where to look? Now these patterns are really useful. If we know that malaria isn't in the mountains over here, then maybe we can say malaria isn't in the mountains over there. And if we know that dengue is where it rains a lot over there, then maybe we can expect it in other rainy places too. In other words, we use patterns in the environment to predict where people can become ill. And this is exactly what my thesis project is going to do. I'm going to be looking at where infections happen in villages in Myanmar, Cambodia, Bangladesh, Laos, and Thailand. I'm going to map them and then see if there are any environmental risk factors that we can use to predict the where. My first task is looking back at history. This has involved looking at over 10,000 papers, which feels like quite a feat. My next task is mapping where infections are and seeing if I can identify any environmental patterns. And finally, I will then use those patterns to identify where people can become ill. So healthcare providers and governments don't need to test everyone everywhere. They can focus their limited resources exactly where they are needed, treating the right people in the right place. So instead of trying to look directly into our blind spot, we're learning to look around it, taking us one step closer to beating our invisible enemy and saving lives. Thank you.